first. And I say, Jennifer, are you in here? Quit messing with me. And I stick my head outside the door, and she's out by the car. I was a little freaked out, so on my way up the stairs, I get pushed on my left shoulder so hard, I almost fell down the stairs.
Matt comes outside. The look on his face, it was terror. There was nobody else inside that house. At that point, I realized there's something inside the house.
We left. I was a little shook up. We went home. I would say about a month and a half later, we were back in the house. A lady come driving up our driveway, and she wanted to know if she could go through the house. She had lived there when she was 5 years old. He's about 81 now. She's taking me through the house, and I just couldn't believe some of the things that she was saying. I mean, the place ended up being a smallpox hospital, and there was over 250 people that had passed away in this house. I mean, the second part of the house was actually added on in 1892, and it was made for a waiting room and a funeral parlor. She told me there's a cemetery in the backyard. This is where they actually used to bring the caskets out of there. Take them right down through here, and then bam, right here's the cemetery. They ended up taking the tombstones down to please the people that wanted to rent the place, and they left the bodies there. After I'd taken her through the house, she left, and I was a little shook up. When somebody tells you that about the place and how many people died in it, it's like, when I went through what I went through, it made perfect sense to why it happened.
Some friends of ours come up to the house, and one of them said, hey, let's go inside the house. Matt looks at me and he says, no, I don't want to go inside the house. I really don't want you to go in there either.
Jennifer decides to go inside with him for a few minutes. I told him what had happened to me, and these guys were really interested in going inside to see if they could get something to happen to them.
We're in there and we're saying, if you're here, can you show yourself in some fashion? And one of the guys that was with us started saying, how do you feel about your place being turned into a haunted attraction? Just really taunting them. And that's when I felt it. Something was pushing me. And I turn around, I'm looking behind me thinking, somebody's behind me, Matt snuck in. There's nobody behind me, nobody. I just took off running, and the whole entire time I'm running, I kept feeling it push me. And as soon as I grab the doorknob, I feel a burning sensation, like I had a scratch and somebody poured rubbing alcohol in it.
I see Jennifer come running out the front door. I stand up and I'm freaking out, like, what is going on?
Matt had heard me screaming. I ran straight towards him, crawled up him like a cat up a tree.
She is holding on to me and just shaking and thinks something and grabbed a hold of her.
At that point, someone says, Jen, you're bleeding down the back of your pants.
Something had scratched the holy heck out of her.
I had 5 really, really good scratches, almost gashes.
You could actually start to see the lines of what it was that scratched her.
I was so scared. It was painful inside. And that wasn't from what the ghost did to me. It was my own fear. My own fear was saying, run, run, run. Whatever was in that house, you can't fight. So you had to run. Within 15 minutes, we were out of there. It was the worst experience of my life.
After that had happened, I shut the place down. Since we stopped the haunted attraction, we've had some people come in and take pictures. The latest picture we've got is a mist. You can see through it. It looks like something's trying to manifest itself in that picture. There's actually some crazy video.
Okay, so let's go back to that mist one more time.
The latest picture we've got is a mist. You can see through it. It looks like something's trying to manifest itself in that picture.
Okay, so again, this is the mist. It's a living creature. All right, and you saw with the mist, as we did in the previous video, that it brings other spirits with it, more worse than itself, and that with the mist spirit, it's a mid-level aggressive predatorial spirit, and it's so unfortunate because this guy was saying in the beginning that he so much he loves paranormal and haunted attractions, and yeah, he really got a taste of it this time and totally regrets it. But if you can notice here, what you're actually seeing again is the eyes, okay, the lips right here, another eye right here, and a mouth open. These things do have a formation, and from what I've discovered about them is that what you're looking for when you see these spirits, what you're looking for is a skeleton-like shape or figure. They have the figure of a skeleton with the eye sockets, deep eye sockets. So again, this is what you're probably if you Google myth caught on camera, you'll see the same thing. But this is their form that you're seeing. There's always more than one. That's why the one woman said that she heard many voices, because there's more than one of these things that is embodied within itself. They're creatures within creatures within creatures, individually and collectively. But let's move on.
There's actually some crazy video of a line of a big white stripe going across the room. You can't ignore it. It's just there. There's no electricity in this house whatsoever, and there's no lighting in this house, so what you see is what you get. It's just really strange.
It changed everything that I thought. Everything. I still constantly question what's out there. What was that? Am I going to be stuck here? What do I have to do to be able to move on? It's a wake-up call.
Okay, so again, as you can see, these mist spirits is nothing to play with. They're simply served, or they serve other spirits more worse than itself. And the orb seems to be like innocent-looking puppies that go out and find homes for these things, so they can move in and dwell there. So I'm just trying to show you the ranking structure of these things so that you can understand that it is a threat if you do see these things in pictures and family photos, or a place where you might go and you see that you capture one. It's very important that you understand the power of the name of Jesus, and that we are in warfare with these things. So it's very important that you pray to the Lord, that you put on your whole armor of God. That is the helmet of salvation, that is the breastplate of righteousness, that is the belt of truth, that is the shoe of the gospel, and that is the most important of all, the sword, which is the word of God, and the shield, which is the faith. Faith is the shield to defend against these things. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so let's go ahead and learn about these myths.
There's something there that's sucking the energy out of us. I don't feel safe.
I'm afraid that he might try to harm me.
I think I opened up a can of worms for now.
We love this car a lot, but it was not for sale. And then one day we drove by and there was a for sale sign on it.
So we asked the guy how much they wanted for it. We looked at one another and said, uh-oh, something's wrong with this place. I said, well, would you take an offer of X amount of dollars? Sure enough, she took it right away. There should have been a sign right there that something was wrong. It was almost half of what she wanted.
My ghost story begins when we moved into this rural area in a town called Milton outside of Pensacola.
Several people told us it was a cemetery, and I said, yeah, sure. But I did find out it was a cemetery. And the name of it was the Old Holly Cemetery. There is a Holly Cemetery south of us, but that was only for white people. And that was from the early 1920s. They didn't allow black people in that cemetery. And it's kind of scary, you know? But we're in the house, we're decorating, we're putting shelves up. We had a problem of tools coming up missing, keys getting misplaced. We had a problem of measuring tapes. One day I put my measuring tapes here, my saws here. The next time I turn around, they're not there. We're in the front yard, and all of a sudden, this cold, frigid air came around me, ice cold. I said, what the hell is this? And I don't know why I said this. Is there someone here? Give us a sign. Well, that was no mistake. All of a sudden, inside of the house, the doors were slamming like crazy.
You could hear 5 doors slamming all at once. But nobody here.
I mean, we were really scared to death.
There's no wind here or breeze or anything. There's nothing. And they kept slamming.
To this day, we do not have any doors in the house.
And I got the strangest feeling like something was watching me. So I came into the house and I told Mike, I said, just go out there and start taking pictures. That's how the whole thing started.
When Ray and I talk about the spirits and the pictures that I've captured, it frightens them.
The faces, the apparitions. I absolutely believe he's a magnet. I can stand with him and take the same picture, and it won't be the same. I definitely believe they are drawn to him because they answer him in the photograph.
And I said, my gosh, I can't believe this. And they're understanding what I'm saying. So I walked over to this one tree. I said, what, did someone get killed at this tree? I snapped the picture. And I was down on the screen, and I saw something hanging, but I wasn't too sure what it was until I went into the house and downloaded it onto my computer. What I saw looked like a person was hanging from the rope from her neck. On the base of the tree, it looks like there's another person laying on the ground.
Okay, so again, what you're seeing is this creature known as the Mist Spirit. This is like one of the best pictures you'll see. Or maybe not, but again, I'm not trying to get you interested in finding these things. I'm just trying to identify them for you so that you can call on the name of Christ to rebuke it and to warn unbelievers or believers so that they are not duped into believing that these things are benevolent, but they're actually malevolent with evil, destructive intentions. So again, here's an eye, here's a mouth that's open. I guess the ears, but again, this is the common way in which you'll see them: deep eyes and a mouth, and it could be sorted ways in which you'll see them as, but typically this is how they are.
And when Michael got the image of hanging, it made me very, very sad.
Here they are again. You see it's looking at us this way: right eye, left eye, mouth, cheek indentions right there, cheekbone indentions. There's one right here. Eye, nose, mouth. Another one, left eye, right eye. I lost it over here, but these are the most obvious two that you can see. And again, what you see is that with these type of creatures, there's one that lives inside another, that lives inside another, that lives inside another. But they seem to also bring on different types of creatures besides itself when they go wherever they go to dwell at a certain place and torment the people there.
When I take pictures, I tell them, oh, look at this picture I got. He said, please, Mike, I'd rather not to look at them. I get terrible vibes from them.
You'll have people say, oh, that's cigar smoke, cigarette smoke, swamp gas, condensation. And I went, what? How could it be smoke? And when he takes these pictures, it's a perfectly crystal clear night. Explain it to me. I always say, come for yourself. Come with your own camera and see what happens. When you take your picture, then you'll believe me.
And then we go back to the same concept of believing with sight. So again, that they can be believed in. And now just imagine, friends, what would happen if one day you woke up and all these things are being caused